Hello friends, how are you today? Today I would like to do a repurpose craft using a pair of blue jeans. Now these jeans are not any good anymore. See that? We got a big old hole here in the back end. Not such a good thing. So I cut one of the legs off at 12 inches. I used my ruler and I measured 12 inches. You could make a different size if you'd like, but that's what I went with. And then my leg is tapered a little bit. It doesn't look it, but the top half is about 8.5 inches wide and the bottom half is around 7.5 inches wide. So we are going to use the wider end, which is way up here, for the bottom of our project. And we're just going to use some hot glue. And, oops, I forgot to turn my pant leg inside out. Okay. Pant leg is inside out, and I'm going to just pull this over here a little. I would like to work on the cardboard just in case. I don't want to get hot glue all over the table. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue in here to seal what will be the bottom of our owl. Okay, so I've got some hot glue running in there and I'm just going to push it down. Seal it down. See? It's glued together. Okay, now I'm going to make a hem at the top, and so I'm just going to fold the top edge over about 1/2 inch or so and glue that down as well. So just run a bead of glue around there. I'll have to do this a little at a time. The other side. And press that down to seal. Okay, now you can turn it right side too. And we're going to fill it. And you want to put maybe a cup or so of rice or beans in the bottom. Give it some weight to stand up. So I'm just going to dump some rice in. That's what I have handy today. In there, okay. And now I'm going to stuff the rest with some polyfill. If you don't have some polyfill and you have some worn out awful pillows, you could take apart your pillows and use the stuffing from some pillows. We're just going to stuff that in there. You want to leave about 1 inch or so at the top so that you can work with sealing the top edge. Just stuff it in there. Put a little more in, I think. Okay, that's probably pretty good. It's stuffed in there pretty nicely. Okay. I'm just going to stick another glue stick in here so it's ready when I am. And now you want to take some yarn or some string, some baker's twine, whatever you have at home will work. So let's seal this shut now that we have all of our batting in there. And then we will tie off with the yarn. Careful not to get it all over the place. Okay, here we go. So now it's sealed, okay? And you're gonna take the yarn and tie off the two ends like so to make it kind of look like ears for the owl. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece of yarn here and tie that off. I just happen to have white, but if you have something that will blend in nice and not show, that might be even better. But I thought white would be fairly neutral, so that's why I'm doing that. And just knot that up. And see, it gives us a little ear for our owl. And then I'm just going to trim the edges of the yarn. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with the other side. So now my owl has two ears. And you could fiddle with that and make it stand differently if you don't like the way I've got it, but that's fine. And now we are going to do the eyes. So I decided to use gray and brown for my color choices of felt. I'm using some felt, but you could use some old t-shirts or anything that you could cut up, some flannel that maybe you have around the house. And I have a 2-inch circle of felt. I just traced some bottle caps and things and made some templates and then made my circles. So the gray is going to be the first eye part, and then I have another one that is brown that's going to go on top of that. Okay. The gray, like I said, mine ended up being about 2 inches, but anything around 1.5 inches to 2 inches, you just want to have the different layers. So as long as your layers can gradually go down. And then take your scissors and just make like 1/4 inch little cuts. It kind of gives the felt a little give when you glue it on to your fabric. And it doesn't need to, just about maybe every 1/2 inch or so. It doesn't, you don't have to put a huge amount of them in. And just so you can see that they've kind of just a few little snips. Okay, and I'm going to do the second one as well. Got to have 2 eyes, and I'm going to take the hot glue and I'm going to glue them on somewhere below the ears. So maybe right here. Glue one. And glue. You can't see that, can you? I'm sorry. Can you see that now? Here's one eye. And I'm gonna put the glue on here, I guess. That way you can see better. And that looks pretty good. 2 eyes. No, not so good. Huh? I've made them crooked. There we go. Slide it up a little. 2 eyes. Okay, and now I'm going to take the brown and I'm going to snip that a little bit as well. Just doesn't have to be perfect, but just a few little snips, way less than the beige, the gray. And put a little glue on there and just stick it on top of the gray. And I'm going to take the other and do the same. And this, let's see, this I think when I measured it was about an inch and a half or so. So anywhere around an inch and a half. Like I said, as long as they gradually decrease in size or increase depending which way you're going. So there you go. Okay, now you can do one of two things. If you have some Google eyes, you could stick on some Google eyes. Okay, I chose to cut some white felt and some black felt and just make my own eye. So I'm just going to dab the glue on the black felt, put it on the white felt, and there I have my own eye, kind of like a Google eye. Then I'll put some glue on the back of the white, and I will stick it on there. So now we have a nice big owl eye. Here's his eyes. And then I did some templates for wings. I started with like a teardrop shape, and then I kind of curved it a little, and I liked this one best. So this is the one I cut out of the felt, and I went with brown. I have 2 pieces of the brown that I cut out of the felt, and I am going to put them on my owl, probably right about here or so. You can see that. Just gonna put a little glue on there and glue it down on the side. There we go. Now my owl has 2 wings. And the last big piece before I do his beak is his belly. And I did not do a template for his belly. I'm gonna wing it. So what I am doing for his belly is I want it to be kind of flat on the bottom and oval. All right, I folded my fabric in half. I'm going to start at the top here. So I'm going to try about 6.5 or so, and I'm just gonna go. How's that? Okay, and stick that on there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just trim it a little bit. Give it a little more shape. I want it to you can play and make it any way you like it, but I kind of, oops, there. That's pretty good. So that's what I ended up with. I curved it down a little bit more at the bottom than what I originally had done. And so that is how it would be. I'm going to glue it on. Grab my hot glue and glue around the edges of it. And I will need to put a little more glue on, I think, but my glue stick was running out. So there's that. Okay, now I've got a beak here. I just made a diamond shape because I wanted my beak to kind of have a little three-dimensional aspect to it, but you could just do a triangle, but I'm going to glue the back right across the middle of the diamond and glue that in, and then I'm going to put a dab of glue inside, just a little bit, to kind of hold it together there. Gives it that little 3-dimension. Yeah, see, it's kind of opened. So there is my owl. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our repurposed blue jeans into an owl. Have a good day.